Blog Talk Radio.
And most people don't like their paradigm to be shifted one iota.
Yeah, but it needs to be shifted. So knowing that our history goes back many, many millions of years than what we've been told, if we take a look at Hollow Earth, and there's different entrances all over the world, because as you know, Stephen, I have interviewed Brooks Agnew, I have interviewed Colonel Billy Fay Woodard, and they come up with somewhat of the same story, but not really exactly the same story. And Billy Fay is supposed to be from Hollow Earth, and Brooks Agnew is trying to find Hollow Earth. And some of the facts that you've already stated, when I interviewed Brooks Agnew, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, he, made the statement that he is planning on doing an expedition that's going to go to the North Pole to find the opening for Hollow Earth. And the same time that you stated about the water being calm enough to do that, or open enough or free enough, is actually the same time that he stated. And so with the latitude and longitude that you came up with, there is a picture that you have on the YouTube video that you have done. And I'm going to want you to give that out again, because I want people to go take a look at it, because it shows not just the opening, but it also later in the video shows how a flying saucer, spaceship, UFO, whatever you want to call it, could very easily go into that opening.
Oh,
so
exactly.
My thing is, when I talked to Billy Fay Woodard, he explained to me how everything in Hollow Earth is so much bigger than here on Earth. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, for example, have you seen that movie, the Mystery Island series that has Rock in it, the wrestler? He said it shows these huge bees that they ride on. He said that's kind of like what it looks like. And I said, well, do you think people from the outer surface would have a hard time accepting the fact that, one, there is a Hollow Earth, and two, it's pretty pure, and three, that there's all these big, big things in there, like you talked about a 12-foot person or a being. So your story kind of goes in with different stories from different people that I've talked to, because I believe that there is. I've believed in it for a very long time before I ever met anybody, before I ever talked to anybody, because I have a very hard time believing in all the stories that we have been told from the time we were young children growing up until now. And so I cannot believe that we are the super beings that people claim to think we are, and that nobody else out there is any smarter than we are. Plus it would make perfect sense with all the prophecies that come from the Native American Indians, as well as other countries, come up with about different informations. Now, the Hopi prophecy, along with the Navajo and the Zuni, have all stated that when the Earth was going to go through some really hard stuff with weather changes and all that, they were taken into a place they called Hollow Earth. So I have a very hard time believing that all of these people can be wrong, Stephen.
Well,
and then you
right.
come up with the latitude and longitude, and you come up with this video. So give out how they can see this video that we're talking about.
Well, there's a number of places they can see it. The first place they can see it is on youtube.com/WEBFLIXSGUI. That's Webflix Guy. They can also see it on my new site. Everybody listening, grab your pencils and papers, but I will caution you that if you try to look it up under Google Earth, you may find these longitudes and latitudes expunged, and you may not be able to see it. There are other places that you can look for satellite imagery. I suggest you do your searches there. But if you can't do any of that, then my video that you'll be able to see the Edward Thiel mystery or Antarctica's Secrets Revealed, Aliens Among Us, will show you the longitude and latitudes and actually show you the openings that were discovered. And I'm going to tell you about the mystery that surrounds that. So right now, the exact locations can be found in the Transantarctic mountain range in Antarctica. It's probably about 90 miles from the ocean, so it's very close to a body of water there. But remember that in Antarctica, temperatures could be from anywhere from 80 below to 120 degrees below zero, so it's quite frigid. So likelihood of having any man on that continent is very small, if at best. The exact locations for what I believe, I'm going to call it number one, and I'm going to call it an arrival entrance. There is a face of an alien on the entrance next to the hole going in to this cavernous opening. Now, the whole opening, when I measured it, is about 2 football fields wide and 1 football field long. They camouflage half of that, so that way from the sky you won't see all of it. So they modified the hole, but in the rock, or actually in the mountain, because this is on the top of a mountain. These mountains in the Transantarctic Mountains are probably 13 to 14,000 feet in height. So the only way you could see these openings that I mentioned is from an aerial view. So I found an aerial view and hit the exact locations for the arrival entrance with the face of an alien on it. The latitude is 66.553280. The longitude is 99.839330, and that is for number one. Number two is only 5 miles south of number one. It is in a direct line from it, which I believe is a departure entrance. It's also 2 football fields wide and 1 football field down, scaled down. But on the right of it, it has like a metal cover that's been made there, a metal shift cover, which could not have been made by man, because I said it's 80 degrees below zero, if not more, up on this mountain. So there's no way that we have the technology to do that I'm aware of. And the latitude on that second location is 66.603530, or the longitude is 99.719853.
Okay, so we're going to repeat it again during the second hour, so don't panic if you didn't get it just yet. But, Stephen, I want you to give out where they can go see this video.
Okay, well, they can see it at youtube.com/WEBFLIXSGUI, or if you have a problem with any of that, just Google my name under videos, or YouTube my name under videos, and just type in the titles Antarctica Secrets Revealed, Aliens Among Us, or the Dr. Thiel Mystery, and you'll be able to see all that.
The video is very interesting, Stephen, because, like I said, at the end it shows how a UFO, flying saucer, whatever people want to deem them to be, actually fits right in there perfectly. And on that video also shows the face of the alien that you're talking about. So it is a very interesting video that I think people ought to really check into. Again, you don't have to believe what we're saying, but you can check it out, see if you can find those coordinates. I've heard before, Stephen, that those coordinates are very hard to find, and very seldom do people find them, and they don't understand why. And so it's because people don't want them to be found, obviously, but they question it for that particular reason.